And looks like we're live. It's been a while. Let me just check to make sure everything is working. No, it's been a while since I've been live. Looks like that's working. I have some very good reasons for why I haven't been coming live. Of course, yesterday, like everything crashed, right? The internet was down, Facebook was down, Instagram was down, WhatsApp, I think, was also down. Yesterday was just one huge technological fiasco. But so that's why I ended up rescheduling everything yesterday. And then when I came on to try to reschedule, of course, didn't realize that there was some mess up with the internet. So I got a little frustrated trying to change the times, but everything worked out. I came on today and I just rescheduled everything. So today what we're doing is I think this is the second time I've had to do making Mondays matter on a Tuesday. But it doesn't matter whether we do it on a Monday or a Tuesday, the message is still relevant, right? So today we're going to be talking about gratitude and giving thanks. And you probably heard me talk about this before, but today's just going to be a nice, short, and sweet little message. We're approaching November, which is the month for Thanksgiving. And then we're approaching Christmas, which is when, we all tend to get gifts and that sort of thing. And one of the things that I know that we're so familiar with, but may not necessarily give much thought to, is the whole idea of giving thanks, right? So I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that today. And over the last couple of weeks, I've really sat down and kind of thought about this. I've mentioned this before. I was a caretaker for an elderly lady. She turned 95 on September 18th, and the week after that, on the 25th, she passed away. And I was with her. All of her children were with her. Her grandkids were here. A couple of no, none of her grandkids were here. A couple of her great grandchildren were here. So we all had this opportunity to, witness this transition. Well, the grandkids weren't in the room when that occurred, but all of our kids and myself, we had this opportunity to witness this transition of a life from this earthly realm into the heavenly realm, right? And prior to that, over the last few weeks, because I was her caretaker and I knew that this time was approaching, I took the opportunity to really sit down with her and I expressed my gratitude to her. And that might sound kind of weird, but it was basically gratitude for her trusting me to take care of her. Because I know that's huge. When you ask someone to come in and be your caretaker, it's trusting that person to do what's right for you, to do what, always be there for you. Hearing your name called in the middle of the night and you get up and you run to the room and you check, or waking up at, like I think I was up like every couple of hours going into her room and just checking on her, making sure that she was okay, making sure that she had, she wasn't thirsty or hungry or that sort of thing. And come to the last week, she really wasn't eating, but still at the same time, it's checking to make sure that she wasn't thirsty, that she was clean and that sort of thing. So I really took that time to express to her how grateful I was for her to have trusted me with that assignment, and it was huge. So as I was thinking about what to talk about as far as this topic was concerned, I thought that was the a good thing to talk about, was just giving thanks. And this coming Sunday, of course, as we lay her to rest, we're going to be giving thanks for her life, for her long life on this planet, because she was 95. She she was the sweetest little lady. She was my two of my nieces' great grandma, so she's family. But at the same time, I was, had that opportunity to take care of her over the last 4 months. It was the last 4 months where I was literally at her beck and call. And because I'm so sensitive to energy and that sort of thing, I can still hear her. Like, I'd say the night after, I could still hear her like calling me, you know, and I would get up and I'm running to the room only to be reminded, well, she's not here any longer, right? So I'm so sensitive to that kind of energy. I can still see her in certain places. I can still hear her calling me. I can still smell her. And it's that that reminder. And not that I need those kind of reminders, but because there's pictures of her everywhere, right? So, but it's a reminder that she lived, and she lived a very long life at 95. So we lay her to rest this coming Sunday, and I'm just glad that I had that opportunity while she was still able to understand, to express how grateful I was for just her life well lived, and just for her being a part of my life, and I just for the example that she shared with her children, her grandchildren, her great grandchildren, and for me. Because one of the things that I had the opportunity to do, and this really this was a lesson, an eye-opening lesson. This was a woman who got up at 5 o'clock every morning, and she opened her Bible every morning, did her devotions. And this was at 5 o'clock before anyone else was up. She was up reading her Bible and doing her devotions. And she got to a place where she wasn't able to do that anymore because she was sleeping a lot more. But I remember we were sitting on the couch, and she, her Bible and her devotion booklet was sitting close to her, and she said to me, I haven't even picked up my Bible in a while. And I thought to myself, something just came to me and said, why don't you read to her? So I picked up the Bible and I opened it up, and I said, whatever it came to, I don't even remember what the passage was, but I said, Abuelita, how about I just read to you? I just read the Bible to you, since you're not able to do it. And that was, gosh, I'm going to try not to cry here, but that was such a lesson for me, because this was a woman who was doing this at 5 o'clock every single morning, without fail, without fail. And she got to a place where she couldn't. And I picked up the Bible, her Bible, and I started to. She's Peruvian, but she's very fluent in both English and Spanish. But I decided that I was going to attempt to read it in Spanish, and I did. I was so proud of myself. But I was there reading, and I remember as I finished that passage, I put the Bible down, and I had to get up, and I walked out of the room. I just told her, I said, I will eat, I'll be right back. I'll be back in a minute. And I went to my room and I just cried, because I realized that was it was a huge lesson. Number one, it reminded me that I needed to read my Bible more. And number two, to have that opportunity to do something for someone, something that that person had been used to doing all their life, and they're not able to do it anymore. And I had that privilege of sitting there and reading the book of life, basically, the Bible, to her. And so I was very grateful for that. And I didn't do it all the time, but those few times that I did have that opportunity to read the Bible, it was such a blessing. And she just looked at me. All she could say was thank you, because she wasn't able to do that for herself anymore, seeing that she was just sleeping so much more. So there have been so many opportunities to be just to be grateful, just to say thank you over the last few months. Um, and then with Thanksgiving, of course, coming up, I wanted to give you guys some time to really think about what are there opportunities right now that you're kind of missing to say thank you. With Abuelita gone, there have been flowers that have been like flooding in. So everywhere, I think we have enough flowers to put in every room in the house. And I was listening to my friend who's actually her daughter, saying, I need to get the names off of all of these cards because we got to call and say thank you or send a text message and say thank you. But we got to say thank you. And I thought, yes, that also ties in with this whole message about gratitude and just giving thanks. So what opportunities are there for you um, to just say thank you? I mean, there's so many opportunities. It could be the person who had a full cart of groceries in front of you, and then they realize, well, you only have maybe two or three items, and they let you go in front of them, that person, right? Or it could be the cashier who realized that you were having a hard day, and they said, things are going to get better. Thank you. Right? But there's so many opportunities throughout the day to say thank you, right? So I'm going to give you, as usual, on Making Mondays Matter. Every episode has three tiers of activities, right? So there's a low tier, there's a medium tier, and there's a high tier. And I'm sure that you can come up with a lot of different examples or different ideas of saying gratitude, of saying thanks as well. So on the low tier, this activity is to just find someone that you really want to show your appreciation for and to show gratitude to them, and then just get creative. However it is that you want to do it, whether you want to buy them flowers, whether you want to design a card, or just maybe just want to buy a card and then create something for that person to go along with the card. But the idea is to just go the extra mile to show that person just how grateful you are to them, whatever it is that they've done for you. Or maybe they're just a part of your life and you just want to say thank you for being a part of my life. So the medium tier is to get in the habit of saying thank you as much as possible. So this could be for the mailman. Maybe you want to leave like a little surprise in the mailbox saying, to my mailman, whatever the case is. Maybe it's a little gift card to Starbucks for them to get some coffee if they're starting out early in the morning. Maybe it could be anything. Maybe it's just a little handwritten note just saying thank you for delivering my mail on a daily basis, or however often they do it, right? It could be for the waste management people. I know whenever it gets cold, what I like to do is stand out there and just wait for them to come, and then I give them a cup of hot chocolate or something warm, a warm beverage, just to kind of warm them up a little bit, because of course it's cold. So you could do that when the cold weather comes. You could simply be there if it's still hot where you are. Then you could simply stand there maybe with some cool beverages and give to the waste management people as they come through, or maybe just have a handwritten card with a little gift card inside and just pass it on to them, or just simply stand there and tell them, hey, thank you so much for doing this on a weekly basis, or however often they do it. We really appreciate it, right? So just simple ways of saying thank you. It could be the person who makes your drinks when you go to Starbucks or to Dunkin' Donuts or wherever you go to get your morning drinks made, right? Or I had a note here because my best friend back home popped into my head when as I was writing this. Maybe it's your best friend or your BFF is a term that they use now, right? That one person who is always there for you, no matter what, right? So it could be whoever that person is, right? Now on the high tier, the high level of activity, think about hosting a thank you cardathon. So you could get together with a bunch of coworkers, you could get together with some friends, family members, and just create a bunch of thank you cards that you can then send off to people like the servicemen and women. You could send them to nurses and doctors. You could deliver them to the hospitals, to the nurses and the doctors, or if the first responders, you could deliver them to like a veterans hospital or um, to the your mail delivery people, or just take it down to the maybe to the post office and have it distributed to different post offices. You could have these delivered to waste management. You know, there's a lot of different people that you can send a lot of these thank you cards for. I know a group that designs these cards and sends them off at Thanksgiving to the families or servicemen who are not able to be with their families. So they at least get something in the mail from, you know, different people who appreciate what they're doing. The fact that they're over there fighting in whatever war that they're in or whatever activity that they're involved in as a serviceman or woman, um, you know, they appreciate getting these thank you cards. So I'm sure you can come up with a list of other people that you can probably send these thank you cards to. I know right now Mary Kay, if you're familiar with the Mary Kay company, they're hosting some kind of a fundraiser, but everything that all of the packages that are sold, and this year they're targeting, or right now they're actually targeting the cancer treatment facilities. So what's going to happen is they have these packages put together, which consists of like a certain lotion. They're basically it's called a chemo care kit, right? So for people who are going through chemotherapy, you know, your skin tends to get really dry, so there's a special lotion that's in there, and there's a few other items in that chemo kit, and these kits are sold at a set amount. I think it's $20, and then all of the kits are then delivered over to the local cancer care centers, wherever those centers are for, and they're basically for people who are going through chemotherapy, whether it's a man or a woman. That's the beauty of these items. They can be for either men or women. So I know that the Mary Kay company is doing that right now as well. So you have three different activities: your low, medium, and high. And if you would like to take part in the Mary Kay chemo kit, you can just simply reach out to me, because I can also get you. Uh, the way that works is you basically pay for the kit. It's $20. You pay for the kit, and then that particular kit gets donated to a facility. So if 100 people buy these, and it's not a benefit for the Mary Kay consultants. It's a benefit for the particular cancer care center. Okay, so there's nobody who's making a ton of money anywhere. So if you're interested in learning more about the Mary Kay fundraiser for the cancer care centers, then you can simply just reach out to me and I'll let you know how to get involved in that. One of the other things I wanted to mention, since we're talking about gratitude, is keeping a gratitude journal. And that's something I wanted to challenge you with. And the challenge is also going out to me, because like I said, over the last few months, life has been kind of really busy. And one of the things that I did slack on was writing in my gratitude journal. And it's a habit I want to continue with. Even though I express gratitude, you know, I sat down with this day to express gratitude, and you know, wasn't just Abuelita, it was other people as well. but I got out of the habit of actually writing it in my gratitude journal. And I do have a gratitude journal that I keep. It's just a simple notebook. You can find these at the Dollar Tree, just a simple notebook. And I just simply write down between 5, 10, 15, however many things come to mind, things that I am grateful for on a daily basis. And it could be anything. Let me find a date. Okay, so May 10th, I have here, May 10th, 2021, this year. I have 6 things written, and one of them is for birthdays. That was my birthday month. Um, Team meetings, and team meetings I'm talking about, like business team meetings. Lessons learned. So lessons learned, that something must have happened in that month, right? Or that day. That really was something I had to learn. Online lessons. I take a lot of courses online, and also right now I'm actually working on my doctorate, so there's a lot of online activity that takes place. Um, Information to share. A lot of the times, as I'm listening, and that one was basically about different summits that I will watch, and I will garner the information, and I will share it back to my viewers, right? Um, on another day, let's look at a different month. Oh wow! On June 10th, I had 16 things written down that I was grateful for. Um, So I'm going to read a few of them. The guy at Publix who took my purchases to the car and put them in the car. And that is a lesson that a friend of mine, I call her Gigi. We actually both named Gina, but I call her Gigi for short. And she said, I told her, I'm just really independent. So whenever I go to places like the grocery store, and someone asks me if they can help me take my things to the car, I usually say, no, I got it. No, I got it. No, I got it. And I remember saying that to Gigi one time, and she said, why do you block your blessings? I looked at her like, well, maybe somebody else kind of needed his assistance more than I did. She said, no, Gina, whenever someone offers to take your groceries to the car, let them, because that is blocking a blessing that's coming to you, and it's their intention is to bless you by taking your groceries to the car and putting them in the car. So I wrote that down, and that's always something in the back of my head. um the second one here, that second thing I wrote down was the janitors who clean our schools, and I don't think they get it thank yous enough, because we go to schools, we go to our office buildings, we go to a lot of different places, and we like doctor's offices, for example. We walk in and the place is always clean, but we never really give thought to the people behind the scenes who do this cleaning, right? So that's the second thing I wrote, were the janitors who clean our schools and our office buildings, or the doctor's offices, wherever the janitors exist. So the next time you see one, express gratitude. Okay. The third thing I wrote were the people who clean the Mary Kay Caddyshack. I think I had a course there. I taught something there in that month, and we walked in, and it's absolutely it's spotless, it's really clean. So you know that somebody has to come in and do all of the cleaning. The fourth thing was being able to clean the house, and that might sound strange, but when you get up and you have the energy that you can go through and you can clean the house and actually play, soca music or whatever the case is. My kids know I love to play clips of music whenever I'm cleaning, right? Because it kind of gets the energy going, or you just play some upbeat music. You have the energy to clean. Yes, just express gratitude for that. Just being able to clean the house. And number 5, I believe tell for putting away the dishes. One of the things I didn't tell you about her is even at 94 years old, she was still getting up, using her walker, of course, and putting away the dishes from the dishwasher. And even when I would tell her, listen, you don't have to do that, I will do that, she said, no, I've been doing this and I can still do it, so just let me do it. So she would do it, and I told her, I said, thank you so much, because you don't have to do that. And I knew why she did it. It's because she didn't want to relinquish that last little bit of independence because she knew that she was ill. She knew she didn't have a lot of time left, but she still wanted to do the things that she was, able to do. So I express gratitude for that. Number 6 is the bus drivers, right? These bus drivers get up really early in the morning and they go to the bus stops and they pick up all of the kids. They take them to school and they're there in the afternoon, picking them up from school, taking them back home or back to the different bus stops and ensuring that these kids are safe, right? So we don't give a lot of, maybe that's a group that we could get together and create these thank you cards for is the bus drivers, and we can deliver those. Cab drivers and Ubers and Lyft drivers, right? That's a whole other group for people who don't have um, access to a vehicle to get them places, expressing gratitude that there are these people that we can call, like the Ubers and the taxis and the Lyfts, and we can get from place to place with that. Even if I know we have to pay for those, but still, the availability is there. The servers in the restaurants. And I think a lot of people really think about that a lot. The waiters, we expect them, the waiters and the waitresses, we kind of expect, we have an expectation that yes, they're there to wait on us, they're there to serve us. So why do you have to say thank you? But it's the kind thing to do, right? So don't forget next time that you're in a restaurant, just really show appreciation, maybe leaving a bigger tip than usual. The other thing as well is showing gratitude to the people behind the scenes, like the chefs, the people who actually do the cooking, expressing gratitude to them as well for preparing your meal. The road workers, those people who are out there sometimes in the middle of the night fixing the roads or creating new roads to ensure that traffic flows smoothly. We don't really think about those as well. Road workers, construction workers, people who maintain the airplanes. And I know a lot of people, especially over the last year or two, have been, really wanting to get traveling, right? But we don't really think about all those people who are there maintaining the aircrafts. We get on the plane and we expect the plane to fly. We expect the pilot to be sober, and that's another person we need to give gratitude for, is all of the pilots that get us from place to place. But we don't really think about the people who maintain all of the aircraft that go up in the air, right? So maybe that's in a whole other group right there. And this may sound strange, but I was working on my computer one day and the thought hit me. That's another thing I need to write down is my computer, show gratitude for my computer that serves me every day by working well, right? I know I heard someone complain recently. I think it was about the phone. The phone just kept on like freezing up or whatever, and they kept on, getting really frustrated and angry at the phone. And I said, maybe if you show it some love, it might actually work. And I know that sounds strange, but showing gratitude for electronics that work, and even if they have a snag once in a while, still show gratitude for it, right? Um, Oh, number 16 was pilots and train conductors for safety, for showing up to work having had a good sleep, and for showing up to work not being tipsy, and you know what I'm talking about. So the thing is, the idea behind a gratitude journal is you can show gratitude for anything. You just have to just start to keep one, right? Um, Tomorrow is, or I think it's actually early, yes, early tomorrow morning is a new moon, or tonight, I think depends on where you are in the world. But it's a new moon, and I thought to myself, you know what, this is like the perfect opportunity to get started on re-keeping a gratitude journal, or if you've never kept a gratitude journal, to start one, because it really is that simple. All you need, like I said, is just a notebook. Just a simple notebook. You can decorate it like I did right here. And all I did was I wrote at the very front of it, says gratitude journal there. And you want to put the date. You put the date at the top, and then you simply start start writing. You date it and you write between 3 and 5 things every day. If you want to write more, go ahead, but I wouldn't write anything less than three. I'm sure you can come up with at least 5 things that you're grateful for throughout each day. And when you go, what I like to do is I would write that down each day, and then the next time I go to write for the next day, I reread what I wrote the next day. What I wrote the day before. Sorry. So I write down, like for example, on April 12th here, before I write down what I'm grateful for on April the 12th, I would reread what I wrote on April the 11th. Okay, and you do that for each day. You would go in, and on April the 15th, before I write, I reread what I wrote on April 14th. So I'm challenging you with that, is to start a gratitude journal. And I know you've probably heard me talk about this before, but I thought this would be a great time to restart it, or to go ahead and start with it. And then, of course, your 3 challenges. The low one is to just find somebody that you're really grateful being in your life and just show them gratitude. Get creative on how you want to do that. The medium tier is to just get in the habit of just saying thank you as much as possible, whether it's to the person who lets you cut in front of them in the grocery store or in whatever line, or just say thank you as much as possible. And then the high tier is to just host a thank you cardathon. And once you've created a mass of cards, then take it to a particular location, whether it's for the servicemen and women, to nurses, and doctors, first responders, veterans, waste management. You think of a group and just deliver those cards there and have them distributed. And then, of course, the last thing I mentioned just now was to just start a gratitude journal. Dee, hi Dee, thank you so much for being here as well. So that is and I'm sorry if I'm just seeing that. I was like so focused in talking. So thank you, Dee, for being here, and thank you for all of you who I know quite a few of you have popped in. This is Making Mondays Matter, but it's on a Tuesday because I'm sure you're all familiar with the internet crash that occurred yesterday. So that's why I couldn't get anything really going yesterday. And then one more thing. This evening, I am going to be doing a meditation for the heart. I've been doing these different meditations, and it was supposed to have been like a week-long meditation. We were supposed to have been finished already, but something always came up, and I had to like postpone it. And I thought maybe there's a reason why this one is being postponed so many times. So the heart meditation, we're basically going to show love to the heart, and there might be a little bit of heart healing. I know in my case, there definitely is going to be a need for some. So come back at around 7:30. I think that's what it's scheduled for, and we'll do. I'll talk a little bit about the Heart Energy Center, and I'm not going to go into too much detail about the heart structure, but just basically talk about why that's important, why we don't pay enough attention to it, and then we're going to do a little meditation to show some love in that area. All right. So I will see you all later. Thank you all again so much for stopping by. And if you do start the gratitude journal, I would love to hear from you. You can just simply send me a message. You can post a comment below this video. However, there's many ways of reaching out to me. All right. So I will see you all again at 7:30 this evening for the heart meditation. Or I will see you all again sometime this week, or maybe next Monday for another episode of Making Mondays Matter. Right?